Okay, so setup-wise, as we said, there was a little bit of openness with the shoulders, i.e. your shoulder a bit to the left. So what I'm going to try and do is get a little bit more tilt with the spine. Now, we didn't quite get that as much there, didn't we? Sort of focus on as much detail as more to do with the swing, but if we can just remember that little bit of lean, only a smidgen, okay?
And just, it's from where? The waist?
It's kind of from, yes, your hips and your torso, just going to lean back.
Just that bit.
We're not sliding the knees. The lower half stays pretty straight, okay? If you get to wear a jacket with a zip, you can kind of see how your zip's kind of just going to lean this way. It's not staying vertical, as in I'm not kind of going this way. I'm just sort of tilted. So my zip, if I extend my zip down this way, it would go to my left heel, kind of where the ball would be positioned, okay? So you kind of point in your spine angle. So that's a bit too far now, so that's too extreme. There. So your zip now is kind of going that way towards your left heel, where the ball is positioned, okay? That's something you can just practice there. But the main focal point, and we said, if you can do this with a pitching wedge, the reason why is a wedge or a sandman, it's a heavier club and a shorter one. You can do it indoors, hopefully, okay? Grip down the club a little bit, okay? Just make a few swings there, kind of thing. Or in the back garden somewhere, anyway, you can find a bit of space if you want to. So put the kettle on for 2 minutes and just go and do that continually, and then be done. Don't do it for half an hour, too much, because your arm will get tired, and when it gets tired, it will start making it sort of comfort move, or making move to try and fight the fatigue, okay? So it's working on that left elbow as we come through. This is the before swing as you come through. Okay, left elbow, you can see, pull it, you can see this, leaning back on your right side, and that's kind of a please go left movement we see all the time. If I said to you, you're playing cricket and there's a field of guys on the right hand side, there's open on the left, you would be on your back foot, hoiking it left as much as you could, okay? The elbow coming forward, though, is kind of the issue where you try and get speed, club face stays open, so the ball then starts kind of left or at target and then drifts, obviously, off toward the trees. And then the more right it ends up over here, the more left you try to hit it to compensate, okay? Now, if we look at that finished position with your elbow sort of tucked in, disappeared. Now, this one here, now as we go back and through, look at that. Elbows down. The elbows are level. You've maintained the width there in your arms. There's less lean back as well. Okay.
I didn't realise it leaned back so much.
Again, very often people aren't aware of it. You're making a goal swing in the back. From the start of the swing, we go back to there, we'll say 3.5 seconds. You kind of complete the swing there.
Oh my God.
5.5. So it's about 2.5 seconds, okay? It's very different. That's why your right foot stays flat, and also why when you hit the ground, you hit the ground behind the ball rather than after the ball, because you're leaning back. The more you lean back, you're never going to hit the ground this side of the goal ball, because you physically couldn't reach that side of the ground, could you? When you're leaning back, that's where the ground's going to be struck more often than not. So when you then try and play golf, you try to miss the ground, because if you're leaning back, you've got to miss the ground, otherwise you would hit a face full of mud and the ball goes about 20 yards, okay? So what we're trying to do is get more of that finish there. Okay, you can see how that elbow now has just sort of stayed down and softened. Great finish position there. Most of your weight now up on that side. And when you were doing the smaller versions of that swing at sort of, I guess, 50%, it was still going about 100 yards with just club head speed. So what you would then do in terms of practice is, if you go to the range, I know once or twice maybe, start off with a few short clubs to warm up, okay? Maybe do a few swings with just that one arm as a loosener, one arm swings with both sides sort of balance out, okay? Hit a few shots, build up to the driver, start off at, we'll say 50%, just to put a number on it, okay? And then think, okay, well, I can do this quite comfortably now the ball's going straight, and then we just dial up and find a percentage or a speed or a feeling that you think, okay, I can kind of do it here, but I can't quite get that consistency, okay? So I'll work on that. The same way, I suppose, if you're trying to learn to go around a corner in a car somewhere, well, I can get around that corner at 50 mile an hour, 80 mile an hour I can't do yet. Well, I'll go to 55. And I'm getting on 70. And suddenly then you'll be able to do it at a speed you want to do it at, okay? So it's just kind of building up gradually to that full speed. Ultimately, from my point of view, and your point of view as well, you want to be hitting the ball as fast or as hard as you can. There's no point dinking it down the fairway 100 yards. You might as well 7-iron. But it's quite good to see sometimes that you can hit a driver that far with minimal effort. It's just understanding the concept of club head speed, how the hand and the arms and the wrist sort of hinge to unhinge, and that elbow staying down, that sort of swish with the hand and the wrist rather than the elbow pulling. The more the elbow pulls, the slower the club's going to be, and the more club gets left behind and less energy to the golf ball. So getting that elbow down, like I say, you can practice that one. Just let your right arm just sort of rest, just go on your bicep, sort of above your elbow, so your arm can actually hinge a little bit. We're not stretching or pulling it in. Kind of feel where it is in relation to its setup. Because where you stand to start with is a good position. What we're then trying to do is maintain that as we swing the golf club. And that's where consistency is going to come from. If we can maintain a lot of positions throughout the golf swing, level of consistency. There's less things that can go wrong, or less variables. If your arm's sort of doing this and then trying to do that, and then your feet are doing this, and all the back foot and stuff, you're going to do all these different things. There's lots of components there fighting each other, trying to hit the ball straight. And a ball that you've seen in the past go off to the right there, you're trying to fight that right by making swings. And if you saw that, that's basically a goal thing of someone, don't go right, isn't it? That's trying to do anything you can to go left, which, again, every slicer of the golf ball will do. I get guys who hook the golf ball, they'll lean into it and try and aim at the right, and try and swing at the right somewhere, and they just hit a bigger hook. And the more you try and stop something, the worse it gets.
People said the more left you aim, the worse the slice.
Exactly, because what you'll do is the spin's created by the difference between your club direction. So if I look at if this was a straight line to your target, for example, okay, if your path was going in that direction, so out to in, and your club face will say the blue line is pointing over there, what you will get is a ball kind of starting on the red line and then slicing over there. If we increased that, the ball would start still near the red line, because the gap between the green and the blue is bigger, it would create the slice. Exactly, yeah. So you're getting more and more side spin. And again, the harder you hit it, the more spin you get. Hence why guys say, when I swing it slow, it goes straighter. Well, yeah, it would do. If I swing at 10 mile an hour, the ball's not going to go offline because it can't get in the air far enough, have enough spin to become offline. Okay, so we don't want to slow the swing down for normal play. In practice or in drill situation, do it at the speed you're comfortable, and then we just build back up to your, I guess, what would be your sort of 100% feeling swing. So does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Excellent, good.